So over the last few months, based on what I have seen from a lot of players, I mean, a lot of chess has happened, a lot of tournaments have happened, and several people who were like 800, 900 have gone to 1000 plus. Even people who were 600, 700 have gone to 1000, 1200 plus. So it has been a very good season chess wise, although other factors have not gone in favor of us in 2020, right? So based on what I've seen in the last 2 to 3 months, there are these two kids, Amvi and Asmi, sisters, who have been showing some excellent fighting chess. By fighting chess, I mean if the position is lost, if there is a setback in the position and you are on the back foot, they don't give up and they fight back instead of just getting disappointed and making fast moves and just losing the game. So in the last few months, I've seen a lot of comebacks in their games, and I've also seen a lot of long games and games where they take a lot of time and use every bit of their 30 minutes to think and find the best moves. So I'll show you this in today's round three. Both of them had bad positions. Amvi actually was a rook down. If you look at this position, after just 10 moves, look at the position. Aditya has managed to get a full rook. Black's kingside is completely broken. This is enough to resign, right? Many of us would have resigned in this position. And to fight back from this position is really spectacular. So let me show you what happened after this, right? After queen takes, she played queen e7, defending h7, getting ready to take the bishop out and then castle. Queen d4 went back, bishop g7, queen e3. So Aditya has stabilized. He has taken the rook and got his pieces to decent squares. He has castled, got his king to safety. Now the thing he has to do next is knight c3, which he does not do. Ambi plays bishop d7 to castle long, so that she has a game, even though she's a rook down. Here he plays another move that is unnecessary. Queen g5 is just like asking for the exchange of queens. You don't need that. You should just have developed the knight, right? So here what happens? Queen g5. This is where Ambi gets a first chance to come back. She's down a full rook. After this, she's down on h6. Why h6? She could have directly taken actually. h6. This gives Aditya a chance to come back here, but he does not see that. Bishop b5. Again, she does not see the take, and now she takes. So this is where she gets at least the exchange back. Like she gets the 2 points back. Knight moves, bishop takes, rook takes. So now she's down by just one piece instead of being one rook down. She's down by a knight, right? Okay, now let's see what happens. Bishop went back, rook e1, king f7. Interesting move because she cannot castle this side. There's a bishop in the path, right? So she cannot pass. So she plays king f7 and gets ready to bring the rook to the game. Knight f3, rook g8. You can see what is the plan here. She is planning e5 and bishop h3 already. Rook e4, e5, knight d4. Now Aditya is throwing this tactic at her, right? Pawn takes knight would be a slight mistake because Aditya would easily get the piece back and there'll be only a rook left after that, right? And this would be easily winning for white. Of course, after rook here, you just have to play a move like, I don't know, h3, g3 or f3 and she'll be fine. I mean, he'll be fine. But after knight d4, which should have come as a shock for Ambi, she reacts in the best way here. She plays bishop h3, threatening rook g2 or bishop g2, not giving black the chance to take here. Now the position is already becoming slightly towards equality, going slightly towards equality. It's now plus 1.73, not that big an advantage. And this is where it becomes equal. And after fighting back this much, she's got back in equal position. Now she takes the piece. There is no rook e7 winning a piece. There's just rook e7 which gets a pawn. So even after this, Ambi is basically up by a pawn. She plays bishop f5. So that when rook takes pawn, she can take this pawn. And then this pawn will be passed. So Aditya is mindful of that. Here he plays king g2 which is allowing some tactics which happen in the future. Let's see. After king g2, d3. She just wants to get a pass pawn. Even though this pawn is far away, it's still a pass pawn, right? Rook takes b7, and that is the reward for fighting back. When you fight back with every bit of your energy, you will be rewarded at some point. And that's what has happened here. Aditya blunders a rook with rook b7. She is immediately pounces with bishop e4 check and gets the rook. And from here, it was an easy conversion. I mean, it took her a few moves, but the result is never in doubt here. Is that? Oh, that wasn't needed, was that? Rook f5 was not needed at all. What was the point? Could have just pushed. Now queens. Just taking the pawns, getting another queen. So this is where she disconnected actually. In this position, like around here. Here she had 8 minutes 40 seconds. And here she disconnected, but the position is completely winning. So it doesn't take much of an effort even after this. And from here, again, she disconnected around this point. Here. From 519, she went directly to 238. But again, the checkmate is very easy here, right? Just bring the queens over. And there is no stalemate problems. This bishop was not that it would have been stalemate, but this bishop is there. So white has to make a move with the bishop, and then she gives checkmate. So from a rook down position, she fought back, got an exchange back, and then got the piece back, and then got a full rook up and won the game. Asmi's game in third round was not that, heroic. She had a bad position. That is never in doubt. These two rooks, Bala is very famous for using his rooks like this, right? So he has got his rook onto the 7th rank, and that gives white a very good advantage. So from here, she fights back and gets a winning position. It's a very intense struggle here. Both sides played some good moves. Let's see what happened. Here, Bala played rook e1. He's already afraid of this pass pawn. He shouldn't have been. I mean, you need not worry about this guy. You can just get a blockade like knight f1 e3 somehow, or just play actively with rook b7 and rook d7. Right here, he plays rook e1, rook d8 exchange, rook e2, not allowing the rook to come to the second rank. Here knight h5, rook e5. So you'll see a lot of maneuvering moves, the slow moves. Both sides have got their king into the middle. This is where Bala plays king d4, giving Asmi a small advantage. What could Asmi have done in the position? She plays f5. Was there a better move here for Asmi? Probably, yeah. This rook d3 and then rook d5 and then rook d3 check would have been good. This would give a very good. Wait, not rook d3 check. In this position, what could white do? Let's just check with the engine. King e5, okay. Just get the king up according to engine. Alright, she didn't do that, but the position is still slightly better for black. Bishop takes. Now it becomes good for white and it's now equal. Knight takes back. Of course, if you take now, you will have an endgame which is slightly better for white because of the active king. Like here, if you play bishop takes, rook takes, king takes, white is actually winning. White's up a pawn and has a more active king. So Asmi does not go for this endgame. Here after white took the pawn, she plays rook check. And after the king moves, now she takes. King takes, and then she does not even give this check. I mean, it would have been fine if she gave it. But she directly goes for the pawn. Rook takes pawn. King moves, king f6. Here Bala played a slightly weak move. He played rook f2. I mean, no, he's threatening a king g4 idea. But that is just a threat. You are putting a rook from a good file to a slightly bad file. So it is just a threat and not a good move. And that is what led to the position being bad for Bala. She just plays rook f5 and this endgame is good for her. Because now the king is active. She can just play king e5 or king f5 or start pushing pawns and that's it. It's a great endgame for black. She pushes g5, king f3, pawn h5. There is a possibility of creating an outside pass pawn here. But these 3 pawns will not give white a pass pawn anytime soon. You'll have to play like b3 and then c4, right? By the time black would already have the play here. Pawn g3, king f5, king f2. So Bala is not even starting to push these pawns. That is something he should have done. At least created some counter play with a pass pawn. He just makes a king move, allowing Asmi to just get a pass pawn. Now this position we all know is easily winning. It's just a technical, simple, basic pawn game. How do you win this? You can just ignore this pawn and go here and pick up all the 3 pawns. By the time white takes his pawn, black will already have a queen almost. Right now, let's say pawn forward, pawn takes, king takes, and then this king is too slow. So giving up that pass pawn and coming here and picking up all the pawns is the right plan. But Asmi does not go for that. She plays king g4. She's not ready to give up the pawn just yet. King f2, h3, king g1, king g3. And here she goes for the other side. It was better in the early position because she had one extra move. Here, white will take the pawn in 2 moves, right? And takes, but it's still winning. Black has nothing to do. Bala is now playing on time. You can see that Asmi is down to less than 2 minutes also. So he does not even think a little bit here. He could have played something like b4 to make it a little bit harder for her. Like if you play b4, at least it will be only one pawn. King will have to come here and take both pawns. By the time white could try and make it a draw, but he does not do that. He just plays king f3. Now it's too easy for us. Even with 1 minute 55 seconds, she can just take the pawns and then takes this, and then she just pushes the pawn. She does not waste time in playing king b3, king a3. Direct push because the white king has gone too far behind. So now it is just a technical queen endgame, and this is something we have to practice every. You have to practice so much that you should be able to do it even with 1 minute on the clock, and that's exactly what Asmi does here. She has 1 minute 39 seconds now. Let's see how far she does the checkmate. Gets a king closer, queen closer, king closer, king closer, and once the just 8 seconds, 12 seconds, and 12 seconds she took till now. King moves to the last line, and immediately she plays queen b5. Excellent technique, right? King moves and then king here, checkmate. So in 19 seconds, she did the queen checkmate with the Viking in the middle of the board. So this was a spectacular round for many people. There were a lot of upsets. One was a mouse slip from the top seed, but there were some really interesting games also. But these were 2 games which basically shows the inner fighting spirit of these 2 chess players. It seems like they're learning from each other and competing with each other and winning and going forward. They're just helping each other up. It seems like because the rating is very similar now. Asmi is 1019 and Amvi is 1033. They're just very close together and competing with each other. There was a point where Asmi was slightly higher rated, but now it's fairly equal. And it's been a good tournament so far for them. Let's see how it goes.